/payback. Wednesday, March 20th at the Lazy Chameleon in Powell. Mike Gallagher, Bruce Hooley, Jack Windsor.
Hey, morning. I'm getting ready to start the Bruce Hooley Show here momentarily. We're in commercial right now, but we'll be with you here in another minute or so. Dysfunction in the Ohio legislature. Shocker. Trump wins in South Carolina. And a murdered co-ed in Georgia. Who murdered her? Oh, you won't read about it in the media, at least not the truth. Welcome in to a Monday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. Thanks for joining us here on 98.9 The Answer. We have a clear winner in the South Carolina primary. It's Nikki Haley's home state. She was governor, but she lost 60-40 to Donald Trump. Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee. The only thing standing in front of him right now, or standing in his way right now, would be a legal hurdle the Democrats concoct. Or some catastrophic health issue, or some, media blockbuster that I doubt people would believe anyway. Democrats would believe it. They believe everything about Trump. But Trump will be the nominee. Am I excited about that? No, I'm not excited about it, because when you look at the numbers, you see that Nikki Haley would beat Joe Biden more handily than Donald Trump. I don't know why the Republican Party persists in nominating the guy who has the worst chance of defeating Joe Biden, because another story that happened late in the week or over the weekend is indicative of why it's consequential to Joe Biden not be president again, and that is the murder of Georgia co-ed Laken Riley. She's out jogging, not breaking the law, broad daylight, not doing anything that other college co-eds on other college campuses don't do, and she's murdered by an illegal immigrant. Now, you won't read that in the mainstream media. You'll read that, this is a really difficult thing. These college co-eds jogging on their own alone, as if she did something wrong. But this is why Joe Biden can't be president again without his ineptitude, which manifests itself in myriad ways, intruding on and reaching into every corner of America, and thus giving it the chance to touch your life. Imagine Laken Riley's parents today. But we'll start today with dysfunction at home in the Ohio General Assembly. About this time a year ago, I spent a lot of time talking about how Jason Stephens became the Ohio Speaker of the House. And he became the Ohio Speaker of the House, a Republican, theoretically, by backstabbing the guy that in December of 2022, Derek Merrin, who Jason Stephens and other Republicans, all of them in the Ohio General Assembly, said they would vote for as Ohio Speaker of the House, except then they recessed for Christmas, and Jason Stephens marshaled his forces. Problem is, he only had about a third of the Republicans behind him in his coup attempt against Derek Merrin. But wait, there are a fair amount of Democrats in the Ohio legislature, not enough to exert their will, but maybe if I buddy up to them, maybe if I make a deal with them to support me, I can promise them that I will be less conservative than Derek Merrin. Now, my dire warnings about Jason Stephens have somewhat been overshadowed by the fact that there are a few things that have gotten done in the Ohio General Assembly this year that I think are good things. Most importantly was the SAFE Act and the Save Women's Sports Act. That's more the work of Gary Click and Jenna Powell and other Republican legislators than it is Jason Stephens. But Jason Stephens is a smart political animal. He realizes issues that will most assuredly cost him his speakership in the Ohio House, if not his seat in the Ohio House. So he was not going to lick the boots of Allison Russo and the other Democrats in the House to the extent that he'd stand up for transgenderism. And the other issue that got passed, which I was quite uncertain about, was school choice in Ohio. Now, I'll say it again, say it every time I hopefully remember to say it every single time. I'm a member of a local school board, but when I speak on the Bruce Hooley Show, I speak as myself. I don't speak for the board. I don't even speak as a board member. I'm not a board member unless I'm at a board meeting. But here's what I would say to every public school teacher and every citizen of Ohio who sends their kid to a public school. And that is that when you say that school choice is bad for the state of Ohio, what you are doing is you are ceding the ground, the high ground on which your public school can exist. Your public school can exist. I'm fortunate in my area. My public school exists on a very, very, very high piece of ground. We have a great public school. But not all public schools, Olentangy, Upper Arlington, Columbus City, Dayton City, Cleveland City, Cincinnati City, not all public schools are great. And so that's why we need school choice. Competition, I'm a big believer in it athletically. I'm a big believer in it academically. I believe in challenging kids, guiding them, mentoring them, allowing them to achieve more than they thought they could. It's the same concept as when you lift weights hard. You tear your muscles just a little tiny bit. They heal, they get bigger, they get stronger. Stress is what brings progress. Don't we all grow from stress in our life? Yes, we do. Okay, so I don't cede the idea that most, in fact, all teachers' unions and teachers' union administrators cede, which is that, well, if you give state money to parents to help them offset the cost of private school, then every kid will leave a public school. Why? What parents want is a great education for their kids. And if you give them a great education for their kids in a public school, there's a ton of benefits to going to a public school. You get the whole community behind you in most public schools. You don't get that in a private school. You got the community of the private school behind you, but it's a much smaller community. So we got that done in the state of Ohio because Jason Stevens wet his finger and held it up and said, that one could take me out of office. Like, I better okay that one. But now we're at the primary season, March 19th coming up, and a lot of the turncoats who supported Jason Stevens in backstabbing Derek Marin as Speaker of the House have to run for re-election, and a lot of them are facing challenges for re-election, and none of them like it because, hey, man, what are you talking about? Like, why would another Republican challenge me, a Republican running for re-election in my rural county? Well, because Jason Stevens enlisted your support as one of the backstabbers of Derek Marin, and the word's getting out that maybe you're not trustworthy. Maybe that Republican label you wear is more a matter of convenience than it is conviction. But Jason Stevens is a political animal, and you are going to start seeing evidence of that if you haven't already seen evidence of that, because if you are in one of those districts where one of Stevens' henchmen is being challenged, if you're in a district represented by Jay Edwards, if you're in a district represented by Jeff LeRae, if you're in a district represented by Brett Hillier or DJ Swearingen or Tracy Richardson in Marysville, well, you're going to start seeing attack ads against the people opposing those legislators who I just named. And where's that money coming from? Oh, look, Jason Stevens transferred it from the Ohio House Republican Alliance into an account where he's divvying it out so he can run attack ads against other Republicans with money given to the Ohio Republican Party. Now, there's a lawsuit against it, but the lawsuit won't be adjudicated in time to stop it. So you're going to have to inform yourself and evaluate for yourself as to whether or not the people who have been representing you for a long time are worthy of your continued support as a voter. My guess is that because most people don't pay attention to state politics, Jason Stevens will get away with this dirty little trick. But if there's justice at all, once we get back into the House being in session after the primary, Jason Stevens will find himself facing a battle for Speaker of the House once again. And there's a powerful guy lining up to take on Jason Stevens, and that is Matt Huffman, who's right now serving in the Ohio Senate, but who is term limited out and who is going to be running for the Ohio House. So we'll see. But Stevens has already spent about 300 grand on attack TV ads, and he's got another 450 grand that he's reserved time for. And, you know, you want to run an ad on the merits of one candidate over another. I might not like it. I think it's ugly and unseemly to use Republican money to attack another Republican, but at least make the ads honest. But, you know, Jason Stevens, it's not a value that he really treasures and prizes. So here's an example of what he's doing with one of these attack ads. In Wood County, there is a candidate named Sally Culling who's trying to unseat Haraz Gonberry, who supported Jason Stevens the first time around. And Culling chose not to participate in a Nottingham, England City Council decision about a bar in an area because she owned property near the bar. And so she sat it out because it would look like she was voting on something that could have affected her property values. Stevens and Gonberry are running an ad that basically say that she refused to vote in it as if she was in favor of nude dancers and a gay bar in the area. Well, she recused herself for honorable reasons, but they're portraying it as dishonorable reasons. That's how Jason Stevens plays the game of politics.
In Sun, high today 63, cloudy, mild, a late night shower tonight, low 50, cloudy, breezy, mild shower and thunderstorm for tomorrow. Look for a high of 61. Morning shower and thunderstorm on Wednesday. Otherwise, clouds, very windy day. Those winds gusting past 40 miles per hour. We could get some damaging wind. The high Wednesday 61, but those temperatures sliding into the mid 30s throughout the day. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Hey, it's Bruce Hooley, and as you know, Mike Lindell is Mr. Sleep. Mike Lindell has all the products that will help you get a better night's sleep. He's got a real passion now.
All right, in commercial, back in a few.
He invented the world's best pillow, My Pillow. He created the
and we're going to talk more about labels, political labels, and how valuable they are, or how valuable people perceive them to be.
A queen size set of Giza Dream Sheets for $59.98. King size $69.98. That's the lowest price in history. Mike and the My Pillow employees continue to be canceled by big box stores and attacked by the media. So they appreciate all your great support during these times, and they want to thank you by giving you the best specials on all their My Pillow products. To get those prices, go to mypillow.com and plug in my promo code Bruce. Get the famous Giza Dream Sheets, Queen $59.98, King $69.98. You'll also get 60% off the original My Slippers. So go to mypillow.com and use the promo code Bruce. That's mypillow.com, and the promo code is Bruce. Are you among the millions of Americans living with chronic pain? If so, you may think prescription opioids are the solution. The truth is, the benefits of opioids are limited. Opioids only mask the pain. Opioids also come with serious side effects, ranging from nausea to withdrawal symptoms to overdose. As many as 25% of people who are prescribed opioids struggle with addiction. And those who are addicted to opioids are 40 times more likely to move on to heroin. No one wants to live in pain, but no one should put their health at risk to be pain-free. There is another choice: physical therapy. Physical therapists treat pain through movement and exercise, no warning labels required, and you get to be an active participant in your care. Choose to treat your pain safely. Choose physical therapy. Visit moveforwardpt.com to find a physical therapist near you. This public service announcement is brought to you by the American Physical Therapy Association.
Imagine being denied an apartment because of your religion, or your race, or because you have children, or a disability.
It's so wrong.
Yes, but who has the power to stop this?
You do. Each of us has the power. The law is on your side. It's illegal for landlords to discriminate because of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, and familial status. If you suspect that you have experienced housing discrimination, file a complaint with HUD immediately so we can investigate it. Fair housing is your right.
Use it.
To learn more, visit hud.gov/fairhousing. That's hud.gov/fairhousing. Or 1-800-669-9777. 1-800-669-9777. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Well, I am. But as a paralyzed veteran, I had to overcome incredible challenges just to regain my independence and return to work. Finding a parking space shouldn't be one of them. Illegally parking in spaces reserved for people with disabilities is not only wrong, it's against the law. So please, think twice before pulling into a reserved parking spot. Even if it's just for a minute, it's 60 seconds too long. This has been a public service announcement from United's Final Association.
Well, I timed it well over the weekend. Snow hit on Saturday. Woke up. What is this? I had a pot of chili on, and it was delicious chili. Why? Because it was made with ground beef from riverbendranchsteaks.com. Go to riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley for the finest ground beef, Black Angus. One ranch. Now, granted, it covers multiple states, but it's one ranch. It's one rancher. He built a $160 million processing plant, so he doesn't have to truck his Black Angus cattle to market. Doesn't stress the beef. There's no dairy cattle that are butchered, sent to your home. No, it's all Black Angus beef, bred genetically with perfect marbling, no hormones, no antibiotics ever. And guess what? The price is not much above, if it's even above at all, what you would pay at your local grocery store, where you cannot get USDA Choice and Prime, and where you will not get beef that is, as they say, never ever, no hormones, no antibiotics. Check it out for yourself. Order every month or every other month, riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. Well, we have a big problem with Joe Biden's border policy. Of course, we have articulated that many times, not just the 7.9 million illegal aliens that he's allowing into our country, which is 5.5 million more than came in during Donald Trump's 4 years in office. Biden hasn't been in office 4 years yet. But we had a Georgia co-ed murdered by one of those illegal aliens, which, human interest story. That's a pretty big story. A 22-year-old nursing student at the University of Georgia, murdered by somebody 26 years old who has been charged with malice murder, felony murder, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, kidnapping, hindering a 911 call, and concealing the death of another. Today's show spent how many minutes on this today? 0. Not a minute did the Today Show spend on it. Why? Because it blows up the narrative. Republicans will continue to pound on this narrative because it is a narrative that merits pounding. But Democrats will say, it's an outlier, or, like the AP reported that this guy was from Athens, Georgia. Well, he lived in Athens, Georgia, because it's kind of hard to murder somebody in Athens, Georgia, if you don't live there. But he was not a legal citizen of Athens, Georgia. We'll have more on this as the show progresses. I started talking about in the open Jason Stephens, the Ohio Speaker of the House, and how he's using money given to the Republican Party in the state of Ohio to run attack ads against Republican candidates, primarying Jason Stephens' loyalists in backstabbing Derek Merrin out of the Ohio Speaker of the House gavel. And one of them, of course, is Jeff LaRae of Fairfield County, Brett Hillier, Tuscarawas County, Jay Edwards, Athens County, DJ Swearingen, Huron County. And they're all kicking in like some of them 30 grand, some of them 80 grand, some of them 100 grand. Where are they getting that money? Oh, they're getting that money from people who are giving it to their campaign, and then they're giving it to other people who are in the little club that Jason Stephens is operating in the Ohio State House. The funny business behind the scenes is stuff that you as a voter need to pay attention to and need to remember when you go to the polls on March the 19th. Particularly so if you are a resident of Delaware County, where you will have a choice in the 5th District Court of Appeals race between Judge Patricia Delaney and her opponent, David Gormley, who is right now a Delaware County Common Pleas judge. Now, Mr. Gormley, Judge Gormley, has been a longtime Republican And Judge Patricia Delaney is a Republican by convenience. Though she has voted as a registered Democrat in the last 6 elections from 2012 to 2022, Patricia Delaney shows up or will show up on your ballot. You've got an absentee ballot. She's on there right now. On March 19th, she'll show up as a Republican. And you'd be like, what, did Patricia Delaney have a epiphany where she recognized that it's stupid not to drill for oil here in America, where it's stupid to have the border wide open? Did she get tired of the lies from the White House that the border is secure? Did she maybe get offended by the nonsensical contention of the Biden administration that Title IX, which was created to give opportunities to women, now they want to expand it to take opportunities away from women? Did any of that happen to Judge Patricia Delaney? No, none of that happened to Judge Patricia Delaney. What happened is she started to recognize that, oh, I live in a county where Republicans are more likely to get elected than Democrats. And so, presto changeo, I am now a Republican. She said in an inquiry, in response to an inquiry from the Columbus Dispatch, that I'm a Republican. I took out the form and deliberated with my family, colleagues, and staff. I'm comfortable with the decision. Well, I'm sure you are, because it gives you better access to being on the Ohio 5th District Court of Appeals. I'm sure you're very comfortable with it. The story from Dean Narciso in the Dispatch says Delaney further declined to discuss her personal political philosophy or other social or partisan issues, other than to say that she, like much of her district, is fiscally conservative. Okay, well, I appreciate that you're conservative with your money. I would also like to know if you are conservative with your approach to social issues. I love this part. She said, a judge or judicial candidate shall not engage in political or campaign activity that is inconsistent with the independence, integrity, and impartiality of the judiciary. Yes, because we all know that political ideology doesn't enter into a judge's decision at all, does it? Not at all. I mean, all you have to do is look at Arthur Engeron in New York and know that maybe, just maybe, his visceral hatred of Donald Trump might have entered into his $350 million verdict against Trump in the stupid case brought by Letitia James, which lacks a single solitary victim from the banks that Trump supposedly victimized. So Patricia Delaney is going to be on your ballot, Delaware County, as a Republican. She is not one, and I hope you will make her pay a very heavy price for that. And if that doesn't chafe you enough, Delaney and her attorneys have threatened to sue David Gormley for pointing out her duplicity. They have threatened to sue Gormley and his backers for defamation. Defamation or definition? It says defamation. I think what they're really mad about is definition. If they don't remove the Democrat Delaney ads, which they call blatantly false. Well, you voted as a registered Democrat in 6 straight elections. How is that false? Because it hurts your chances of getting elected. I get that. There's just, the more I learn about the internal nature of politics in the state of Ohio, and it's this way everywhere, it's just how corrupt it is. So this is why I am inherently skeptical of longtime incumbents. I know there are good ones. There's some good ones. I think Matt Huffman's a good one. But most long-term incumbents are in there because they have greased the right palms, shaken the right hands, buddied up to and made themselves friends of the right people in order to stay in power, which if you do that as a Republican, it makes you no different than a Democrat.
Lawmakers in Alabama grappling with ways to safeguard in vitro fertilization after a state Supreme Court ruling that frozen embryos could be considered babies under state law. Change at the top of the RNC. Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel says she'll step down after Super Tuesday wraps up on March 8th. The Hungarian parliament has ratified Sweden's bid to join NATO, brings to an end more than 18 months of delays that have frustrated the alliance and looks to expand in response to Russia's war in Ukraine. More money for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan will top the agenda.
In commercial, we'll be back shortly. We're going to talk about this poor young girl in Georgia who was murdered by this illegal
Watching
immigrant.
Wall Street, the Dow is up
22
11
years
points,
old.
The Nasdaq is 13 points higher, and the S&P trading 5 points in the red. More details at srnnews.com.
The FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar. It grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy, it's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned money. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. Remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH and the number 989898 right now. And I pray you're blessed with
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers. Tune in or iHeart.
Headmaster Hall here from Dublin Classical Academy. At Dublin Classical Academy, we have the tuition-free solution to relieve concerns about the current public education system. Dublin Classical Academy is the first Hillsdale College-supported tuition-free school in Central Ohio. It's a content-rich, classical liberal arts education that includes instruction on moral character and civic virtue. Visit DublinClassical.com for more on how to enroll your child for free at Dublin Classical Academy. Dublin Classical Academy, classical education, tuition free. Are you tired of the ups and downs of the stock market? Are you sick of logging into your brokerage account only to find out that you've lost hundreds or thousands of dollars in a single day? At MarketBeat, we know that constantly moving in and out of stocks, hoping to get lucky, is a loser's game. Buying hot stocks after they've already shot up in value is a recipe for disaster. It's time to stop playing the loser's game and invest in stocks that have shown they can stand the test of time. MarketBeat has prepared a free report titled 7 Stocks to Buy and Hold Forever, and we would like to text it to you for free. Text the word profit to 68285. The companies in this report might appear to be nothing special at first glance, but these companies print billions of dollars of cash each year in profit. If you would like to receive our free report of 7 stocks to buy and hold forever, simply text profit to 68285 and we'll text you this report instantly. Text profit to 68285 and we'll send you this free report right now. Text the word profit to 68285.
Standard message and data rates may apply. Please consult with your investment or tax professional.
His mission used to be protect and serve. Now he's on a mission to serve God, to be the voice of and for the people. He's Brandon Tatum, and you can hear him weeknights at 7 on the Officer Tatum Show on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Hey, I want to give you a little heads up on something that is happening tonight at 6 p.m. on our sister station, 98.9. No, not 98.9. That's us. 8:80 a.m. Bob Burney's show airs from 3:30 to 6 p.m. And right after that is the debut of a new program called Grace Infusion with Pastor Mike Nimmer of Northwest Chapel in Dublin, Ohio. So set your clock for that one. 6 o'clock tonight and 5 nights a week. Great Bible teaching, verse by verse, from Mike Nimmer and Northwest Chapel. Also, don't forget the half-price tuition program available for you always at 9890answer.com, where you can get $5,000 off an Ohio Christian University scholarship for just $2,500. That's for new students coming up this fall. Check it out, 9890answer.com, the discount shopping club, discounted tuition to Ohio Christian University. So we always hear stories every single day. Something horrific happens in the world, and you think, man, oh man, how I deal with that. I can't imagine being the parents of 22-year-old University of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. I have a daughter who's 20. I brought her home from school on Friday. That's where I was Friday, while Jack Windsor was sitting in for me. And by the way, set your clock for March the 4th, 5 p.m. Jack Windsor will be hosting the Windsor Report 5 days a week from 5 to 6 p.m. here on The Answer. But Jack was sitting in for me Friday because I got to go to my daughter's college and pick her up and bring her back for spring break to watch my other daughter performing in a school musical over the weekend. And this story just crushes me to think about this girl going out on a run and never making it home because I gotta watch my language, but man, this illegal immigrant who had been in custody multiple times from ICE, from New York City police, and he's out because, of course, nobody in New York City gets held for anything, right? I mean, you can beat up a cop, you can flip the bird at the cameras as you come out, it's just, we used to say we're a nation of laws. We're not a nation of laws anymore. We're a nation of lawlessness. Athens, Georgia is not Atlanta, Georgia. Athens, Georgia is a college town. So this young lady goes out for a run, and this 26-year-old person apparently just hit her in the head with something, because they say the cause of death is blunt trauma to her head. But this guy's name is Jose Antonio Ibarra. Okay, so any warning signs that Mr. Ibarra might not be the kind of character that we would want in our country? I mean, he applied for asylum, right? So some countries smart enough not to want him to stay in their country. He's in the U.S. illegally from Venezuela. And by the way, we're getting more and more tales of Venezuelan gangs in cities around the country. They're just, hey, why engage in gang activity in Caracas when you can do it in Boston, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, Phoenix, New York, Baltimore, Cleveland? Like, where are you going to make more money? Which, by the way, in Caracas, they don't hand you a gift card worth $10,000 like Eric Adams will in New York City and not check it. So this Ibarra is in the country illegally from Venezuela. He was arrested late last year in New York City, but oh, look at this, released back into the country. Customs and Border Protection documents show he crossed in September of 2022 into El Paso and was released due to lack of detention space. He was arrested 5 months ago in New York City for, would this portend that he might actually hurt a 22-year-old co-ed? What was he arrested for in New York City 5 months ago? Oh, for injury to a child less than 17 years old. Nah, let him go, Alvin Bragg. Nothing to worry about there. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp sent a letter to the Biden administration over the weekend. He says, as I've stated many times in the past, your actions and those of your administration have resulted in every state in the country experiencing the disastrous impacts of an unsecured U.S. southern border. More than 9 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border since you took office, while an additional unknown number of migrants who were not detained and processed have also entered, while at least 58 people on the terror watch list have been encountered between points of entry this fiscal year alone. By the way, Ibarra's brother Diego was also arrested while they were looking for the first Ibarra, the murdering Ibarra. They found the other Ibarra, and they've charged him with illegally possessing a fraudulent U.S. permanent resident card. Wow. Here is Brian Kemp, Georgia governor. Now, the reporting on this incident has been interesting because the Associated Press has found a unique way to position this murder, pointing out, here's the headline on the AP story. The killing of a nursing student out for a run highlights the fears of solo female athletes. Was illegal immigrant in there anywhere? Illegal alien in there anywhere? Was murder in there anywhere? No. The killing of a nursing student out for a run highlights the fears of solo female athletes. Oh. The implication is much more there on the runner than it is on the person who murdered her. Now, this hits home with Mary Catherine Ham, who you'll see as a Fox commentator, formerly of CNN, until she told the truth, and CNN said, well, you can't work here if you're going to do that. So they got rid of MK Ham, and she used to go to the University of Georgia, and she used to run on this very bike path, or this very path through the woods, and she finds the media portrayal of this particular issue reprehensible, as do I. So I'm just curious, like, I know they're leaving the border wide open. I know it's intentional. I know they don't care at all about Lake and Riley, not one little bit. There's not one tear shed. KJP will get up there today and lie, and, oh, our prayers are with. She doesn't pray. Like, there's not one single Christian in the Biden administration, not one. You couldn't be an authentic Christian and work in that godless, captured, evil administration. Impossible. But what is there, like, what is the purpose of this? Like, and the number one purpose that I think it is just to turn the country, specifically Texas, to turn it Democrat. Because if they get Texas electoral votes as a permanent fixture in the Democratic Party, the Republicans will never win another presidential election. Never. California used to be up for grabs. Now it's a monster automatic for the Democratic Party. So is New York. They get New York, Texas, and California, it's over. It's game over. We'll never have another Republican president. And they always say that's not the end game. Biden and his henchmen are untouchable from these people. They live in Pelosi and the others. They live in their protected palaces, Maxine Waters, Gavin Newsom, all of them. They can't be touched by the consequences of their policies, which, by the way, is the epitome of a dictator. It is the epitome of a dictator, somebody who cannot be touched by the ineptitude, by the evil of their policies. Now, we have news on the Fani Willis front. Fani Willis, who captured the headlines, was it more than a week ago in Georgia, the Atlanta district attorney, lying in court with her boyfriend, Nathan Wade, lying about when their relationship started. And the date of the start of their relationship is very, very important, because if they find out in court that the relationship started before she started paying Nathan Wade $600,000+ to prosecute Donald Trump, well, then that could get the whole entire case taken away from Fani Willis, and it might get the whole entire case washed out. And oh, by the way, it might lead to Fani Willis ending up in jail. So there are new details on this, and the judge in the case today is going to be meeting with Nathan Wade's former law partner. But there was a window into what these new problems for Fani Willis are back when Nathan Wade was on the stand more than a week ago. One of Trump's attorneys tipped his hand, and now that tip has been fleshed out. We'll have the details on that next here on the Bruce Hooley Show.
This afternoon, intervals of clouds and sun are high today, 63. Cloudy, mild, a late night shower tonight, low 50. Cloudy, breezy, mild shower and thunderstorm for tomorrow. Look for a high of 61. Morning shower and thunderstorm on Wednesday. Otherwise, clouds, very windy day. Those winds gusting past 40 miles per hour. We could get some damaging wind. The high Wednesday, 61, but those temperatures sliding into the mid 30s throughout the day. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
At Ohio Christian University, we are committed to helping you achieve your God-given potential. But we also care about your financial future. Our Payback Promise is a loan repayment assistance program, no cost to you, and is the safety net you need to take the next step confidently. Don't let your financial concerns about pursuing your dream to attend college hold you back. Apply today. ohiochristian.edu/apply.
Are you ready for an adventure of a lifetime? Journey with me, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, on the Patriots Alaska cruise this summer. It's an incredible opportunity to engage with me and other like-minded patriots on an epic 7-day cruise over the 4th of July weekend. Witness the untouched wilderness of Alaska while discussing America's future. What could be better? Join me from June 29th to July 6th. Call 855-565-5519 or reserve online. PatriotsAlaskaCruise.com.
Is your money safe? Are you reading about the push for the digital dollar that could allow the government to tell us what we can and cannot buy with our own money? Look, with all the things we've learned about what the feds are up to, that's not a shock, right? I'm encouraging you to get The Secret War on Cash. The Secret War on Cash is a compelling, insightful report created by my friends at Swiss America. It's available now, free of charge. You're going to learn how to protect yourself from these threats to our freedom and to our hard-earned money. Call Swiss America now, or you can text them as well, 800.
Today? Yeah, we said Peter, not yet. I just talked to her staff. She's supposed to get back to you today? Yeah, she's supposed to get documents.
Well, did you hear from her boyfriend?
We haven't. So I was talking about this in the office, and I said Bonnie Wade, and it's like a Freudian slip, like I Bonnie Willis and Nathan Wade. So no, we haven't heard back from her yet. We'll see what we get from her. But there's a whistleblower in her office who we have talked to, the committee staff. Yeah, and she. The whistleblower, I think she's like 4'11", but Bonnie Willis had 7 police escort her out when she fired this lady, because this lady raised the concern that Miss Willis was not spending federal funds and not following the grant. Her office, who we have talked back from her yet. We'll see what we get from her. No, we haven't heard back from her yet. Slip, like I Bonnie Willis and Nathan Wade.
Network USA learned of a special limited IRS offer. They're willing to waive $1 billion in penalties if you qualify. Schedule your free confidential consultation to see if you qualify for this limited time IRS penalty canceling offer. Call 1-800-245-6000, 1-800-245-6000, or visit tnusa.com/Gorka.
Dennis Prager here. Don't risk losing the trusted news, traffic, talk shows, and weather you get from AM radio stations. It's time to make your voice heard. We need Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Keep AM radio in cars. When internet and cell services are out, AM could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886. That tells Congress to pass the critical legislation. Or visit dependonam.com for more information. The message and data rates may apply, and you may text stop to stop.
Hey, after the show today, I'm headed to Soft Step Carpet in Plain City, 161, just down from Costco. Love to see you come in the shop, look over our inventory. You know what you'll find? You'll find that we have all the exact same big name brands that other big flooring stores have. We have Mohawk and Shaw and Anderson, and you name it, we've got it. And there's a reason why we can sell it to you and save you hundreds, if not thousands. It's because when you come in today, you'll see my car out front, but you won't see wrapped vehicles with fancy signage on them. And you'll notice that where our store is located is not like in a high district corridor where, whoa, what do they pay for rent on that piece of property a month? 20, 25 grand? No, not at Soft Step Carpet. You're paying for all those amenities at other stores. And there's a reason why our trucks return from the carpet mills in Georgia on a much more expedient schedule. And that's why your carpet, your flooring, whatever you select, gets installed first. So check me out today at the store in Plain City, just outside of town, or email me, brucehooley@gmail.com. So the judge in the case of whether Fani Willis and her highly paid boyfriend, Nathan Wade, can continue chasing after Donald Trump in the racketeering case that he tried to steal the 2020 Georgia election. The judge in that case will hear from Nathan Wade's law partner. They call it in camera today, which means in the judge's chambers, because this attorney, Terrence Bradley, contends that everything he and Nathan Wade ever talked about is privileged information. Hey, how did the Braves do last night? They lost 6-2, but don't disclose that. It's privileged information. Yeah, not everything you talk about with someone who is your attorney in another matter is privileged information. And my guess is the judge will explain that to Terrence Bradley today. But Bradley might be off the hook. He might not have to out Nathan Wade for lying on the stand about when he and Fani Willis started sleeping together, or at least started dating, because that is the crux of the matter. When did they start dating? Did they start dating before Fani Willis appointed Nathan Wade, started paying him $600,000, started going on expensive vacations with him? If you remember the testimony, Nathan Wade and Fani Willis said, no, we weren't lovers until after I hired Nathan Wade. And then we started working together and like, hey, he's kind of cute or whatever. You know, I don't know how it unfolded, but they contend that nothing happened until after she employed him. Now, even in that scenario, she should have disclosed this to the court, which of course she could not do because she got her job because of DEI. She didn't even know what a hostile witness was. So I'm not sure you want to go to Fani Willis with your intricate legal questions, because I don't think she knows the first thing about anything too in-depth when it comes to matters of the law. Otherwise, just me thinking out loud here, and I'm not an attorney, I just play one on the radio. If I were going to concoct this scheme of paying my boyfriend back, reimbursing him for vacations, I would have done it in a way that I could verify later on with a receipt or with a payment via Venmo or some Cash App or something. No, Fani paid Nathan Wade in cash because her Black Panther father told her that a black woman should always have $200 cash on her in case she's out with a man and the man acts up and then she can get home. And just me scratching my head here. If you are out with a man on a date and the man acts up and he knows you have $200 cash on you, why would he not, in the course of acting up, take that cash? None of her story makes sense. Least of which, let's set the stage for it, is this denial from Nathan Wade on the stand under questioning from one of Donald Trump's attorneys.
21, you were at the
Oh, they'd be wrong. Phone records would be wrong. They ping off cell towers. They're using the cell phone pinging records to pretty much prove that Brian Kohlberger murdered those 6 Idaho college students. This is a well-accessed legal strategy to ping someone's cell phone, look at the records, tell where they were, when they were there, and they're very good with it. I have a friend who's involved in this kind of marketing. It's called geofencing. You go to a football game, they can tell you're at the football game and they can pepper you with ads that play to your presumed consumer interests based upon the fact that you were at that football game. Or, hey, there's a restaurant right down the street from the football game. Game ends, you're going to be hungry. Boom! They can inundate your phone with ads. So they're very good at knowing and tracking and determining where you are based upon that phone in your pocket. So the attorney there kind of tipped his hand like, so if cell phone records show that you were at a condo that you say you weren't at, and the reason you're saying you're not there is because it would prove you and Fani Willis had a relationship prior to the date you said you started your relationship, those records would be wrong. And Nathan Wade goes, yes, they would be wrong. Well, This will be for the judge to decide. But did they have Nathan Wade at Fonnie Willis's apartment, condo, once, twice? No. They have him at the place 35 times. They have more than 2,000 phone calls between Fonnie Willis and Nathan Wade prior to the time that she hired him as the special prosecutor in the case. Now, I mean, I guess you have to interview somebody, but 2,000 phone calls on your personal cell phone seems like a pretty extensive interview. They also had 12,000 interactions over an 11-month period in 2021. 12,000. That's text messages. I mean, I text my wife a lot. I text her more than I text anyone else. Not even close to 12,000. Not even close. I mean, but if you are of an age where you dated someone in the age of cell phones, 12,000 interactions sounds like the kind of thing that would happen while you're courting someone, while you're pursuing someone, while you're furthering a relationship with someone. They also have text messages from Nathan Wade. For instance, they have like him showing up at her house where he never was, according to him and her. They have him showing up at her house at like 1:45 in the morning, leaving at 4:30 in the morning, and then 45 minutes later after he gets home, texting her. Gee, what could that hint might have been going on? He came over for coffee, and then he got home and he texted, hey, watch out when you go to work in the morning. There's like construction on I-75. No, that's what two people who are dating and who, use your imagination. That's how they respond to each other after they're together for a few hours. Hey, got home safe, baby doll. Now, granted, all this mountain of evidence makes Fonnie Willis look as guilty as she is of lying. She should be disbarred. She should be jailed. He should be disbarred. He lied multiple times in interrogatories or affidavits with the court. Both of them did. But if you noticed Fonnie Willis on the stand, she was indignant that anybody would dare question her. How dare you question me? You lied in these papers. You lied. Well, they didn't lie. You lied, and you're just not used to being caught on your lie because you are the personification of the Peter principle, where incompetent people fail up forever. And that's what DEI has done in our society, is that you can't fire someone for being incompetent, but you can't stand them in a role that they fill. And so what do? In order not to get sued because their skin color is such, or their ethnicity is such, or their sex is such, that they can make a case that you're getting rid of them only because of their ethnicity, their skin color, their sex, you promote them. So I still don't know this guarantees the judge takes her off the case, because the judge has got to deal with her. She's going to stay the prosecutor unless they disbar her, and I doubt he has the guts for that.
Hey, it's Bruce Hooley, and as you know, Mike Lindell is Mr. Sleep.
All right, that'll do it. Hour number one. We're not in commercial. Sorry about that. Too many irons in the fire to keep track of here. So hope you guys had a great weekend. I certainly did. My daughter was phenomenal in her school musical. It's great having everybody home, family in from Arizona. Looking forward to a good week here on the show. Looking forward to a lot of things we got on the agenda coming up, adding Jack Windsor to the lineup here at the station. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And again, you can catch me this afternoon at Soft Step Carpet in Plain City. And if you want the greatest steak, I'm not making that up. You want the greatest steak you've ever eaten at prices you won't be able to beat in your local supermarket or grocery store, go to riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. All right, until tomorrow, everybody have a great day.